Welcome back to the Let's Thrive podcast. I'm Bri.
And I'm Abby.
And we're hyped because it's summertime, the best time of the year. You know, it's hot outside, we're feeling good. But a lot of the times we feel good, but when we look in the mirror, that kind of goes down. So we kind of want to talk about some fitness tips in the summer to help you become successful and how to kind of navigate the summer while enjoying it to the best of your ability, at the same time staying on track as best as you can.
Yeah, ultimately, like, how do you enjoy your summer and still keep your fitness goals a priority? Like, even if the approach has to change a little bit to allow for a little more flexibility, but just how to really navigate that, because I know we've had clients that are like, I need to pause coaching. Like, you know, the summer's coming. I like to, you know, go to the lake. I like to do this. I like to do that. And it's like, this is a lifestyle. Like, this isn't like something you turn on and off when it comes to your fitness. Like, this is truly a lifestyle. And with that being said, like, with our coaching, like, you can go through any season of your life and be in coaching.
Exactly.
You can be going through like a really dark time and still be in coaching. You can be, you know, entering, like, maybe you have a vacation coming up or summer or whatever it may be. Like, you can still do coaching, and just even if you're not in coaching, you can just still be on the path with your fitness journey. So you don't want to set yourself back in the summer. That's one thing. But I mean, we can just dive into. We had some notes and things that we wanted to touch on.
Exactly. So basically, going off of what Abby said, like, there is no on and off switch in your fitness. Like, this is a lifestyle. This is what you should be carrying out in your daily habits. It should be a non-negotiable for you. Going on vacation is awesome. And yes, your routine might look a little different on vacation, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't go outside for a walk, especially in the summertime. Like, that's the best time to be outside. And that doesn't mean you should not have healthy options and foods and just only get fast food. Like, you should be prioritizing everything that you would in your routine at home on vacation, just not as intense, I would say. So you don't need to be like, oh, I need to track every little gram of my rice or every little thing, but be mindful, choose wise options, and continue to fuel your body the same way that you would at home, and vacation won't be an issue whatsoever.
I love that, because we've had like lots of clients like going on vacation and stuff, and for the majority, like, all of them are like really navigated it really well. And we found that, like, after each vacation you go on, like, you learn how to navigate it like a little bit better. So that's why it is important to just not like stop your fitness or stop coaching just because you have something coming up. If you can learn how to navigate through any situation that comes your way, because you're going to have more vacations that come up. You're going to have more events and special occasions that come up. And if you can learn how to balance that and be able to just stay on track, maybe not perfectly, but the main thing is like bouncing back. I think that's a big thing.
Yeah.
Because if you get stuck in that all or nothing, black and white mindset, you might go on vacation, come back, oh shoot, I came back, it's Tuesday, I'm just going to eat whatever the rest of the week because it doesn't matter. So getting rid of that black and white mentality is going to be huge. And a huge thing we say with our clients is control the controllables, like, control what you can. There's always going to be levers that you can control, no matter where you are, whether that's on vacation or like a work trip or whatever it is. Like, most of the time you can always control your sleep, your steps, your water intake, having balanced meals, maybe not tracking them, but having balanced meals. Like, there's a lot that's going to be in your control, like moving your body, whatever you need to do. Like, you can do, like, literally you can do like yoga and like do something more like restorative. Like, you can stretch, you can go for walks. Like, there's always so much in your control. And I think when it's not perfect, you don't have your gym and you don't have your routine, like, people really struggle outside of routine. And it's good to be able to have those times when you're not in routine, so you know how to navigate them.
Yeah, and if you're like me and your brain is a little bit too far wired and kind of like almost anal with things and almost very OCD, then it could really throw you off just going on vacation. Like, I'm one who's like, I need a set itinerary, give me like every second of the hour, like, what are we doing? And that's something that I kind of had to almost, I don't know how to say it, like, not get rid of, but
like,
learn
break
how,
it down.
Yeah, like, break that kind of limiting factor in my life, because it was holding me back from a lot of things. Like, I was too hyper focused on, okay, well, am I gonna have time to go to the gym today? Like, I know we're on a trip, but I have 2 hours. Am I gonna make it? Or or like where are we going for dinner, so I can search up the menu and try to fit it in my macros rather than trying to be present with my loved ones. Like I recently just got back from a week
I was gonna say, if you can
vacation.
talk about that trip, I think that would be really applicable.
Yeah, so I left on a Tuesday and got back on a Sunday, and my last day in the gym was the Monday before that Tuesday. And I tried to get in all 3 days of my workouts, and I didn't. I only hit an upper and a lower before I left, and I was like, okay, so be it. And we had a lot of special events going on. We had James's little sister's graduation. The next day was my mom's birthday. Then we traveled again to another city. Then James had a competition. Then we traveled home. Like, it was crazy. I never had, like, actual genuine downtime. Like, I barely slept, you know? So being able to have the relationship with food that I have now and the experience, the knowledge, and just the support systems around me, I was able to fully enjoy that trip. And if you were to ask me every single detail on every single day, I would probably be able to tell you almost everything that happened and everything that I felt in that moment, because I was genuinely present. Like, yeah, I was bummed I couldn't go and hit my 3rd day at the gym, but I woke up early one day after the graduation ceremony where we had really amazing Filipino food the night before for celebration. I ate that food and I was so happy. 1, because it's absolutely delicious, and 2, because I knew that it was a long day. I probably hadn't even eaten that much prior, and my body needed it. And I had all of my loved ones there, and the most important thing there were them. And that was all that I mattered, or that's all that I focused on, all that mattered. So the next morning I was like, okay, everyone's sleeping in. My body naturally wakes up really early. So I went on a run, and although I couldn't go to the gym, I was able to hit my run, and I still felt good. I made time for myself to go outside and just to be there, be present with myself, and understand, like, hey, maybe the choices of food there, I didn't have the most, I don't know, whole food options, but I still kind of did what I could. Like, I had chicken, I had some steak and things like that. So selecting your vacation foods based off of your traditional routine-ish meals are going to be so beneficial for you, because if you're prioritizing your big major macros and having those balanced meals, there's no excuse as to why you should feel bad for yourself. Like, you can't sit down at the end of the day and be like, well, I feel like crap because I ate chicken and rice even though it wasn't tracked. Like, no, like, you ate chicken and rice, like, that's great, like, good for you. So that vacation was really awesome because, like I said, I was able to be present. I was able to go and walk around the Riverwalk in San Antonio and go eat at a Mexican restaurant, have a margarita without any guilt. I know I was afraid of doing that recently. I was like, what's going to happen? And nothing happened. Like, I got back from my trip because I didn't weigh myself the entire time. I got back from my trip, and I think I was like 1 to 2 pounds heavier, and majority of that
Water weight.
is water weight. Yeah, you might get scared and you're like, oh my gosh, what the heck? But if you just get right back on track in your normal routine, I promise it'll flush out of you. But being present in your vacation is the most important thing, because you don't want to come back from vacation, have your coworkers or your friends ask you how it was, and you can't recall something memorable that happened. You don't have a core memory because you're too hyper focused on the gym or your step count or the food that you were eating. Like, as long as you know you're putting the effort, you should be proud of yourself, because that's a small win, and small wins will take you really far.
Yeah, I think those are all really, really huge. I think just having like those fundamental habits that like make you feel really good will make it easy to keep on track during vacation. Cause like, it doesn't mean, like, balance doesn't mean you have to go off the rails. You have to be eating everything in sight. You skip drinking your water, you take a break from that, you take a break from getting good. No, like, you still want to be prioritizing those things that are going to make you feel really good. And I was looking for a message. I was just talking to a client about this who went away. I think she's still away right now, but she was going away for like 5 days to the beach with her family. They're going in a camper and stuff. And she was just telling me how, like, she's prioritizing like her steps, and she's prioritizing her water. And she went to the grocery store because she could do that, and bought stuff to make in the camper and everything. And then they went out for dinner each night. So she had, maybe she wasn't tracking, but she had like a good balanced meal for breakfast and lunch, had the flexibility to go out to dinner, and that left her feeling really good. So you're not eating like, if you're eating like fried food like every single meal and you're not moving your body, like, obviously you're not going to feel the best, and that will also make it a little bit harder to enjoy your vacation. So I think just finding what your balance looks like is really big, and just using the morning time, especially, like, because people are usually sleeping, like family members and stuff, if you're on a trip. So like, getting up early, getting some steps in, getting some water down, like, all things that like make you feel really good, and that's going to really allow you to enjoy that trip. And I think just working on your relationship with food prior to the trip is going to be big. So that's why that's something that we really focus on with all of our clients.
Yes.
Improving their relationship with food, really thinking of food as fuel. It's not this whole like black and white thing. Like you
Good
can,
or bad.
yeah. There's not foods that are off limits. Just having balanced meals and just building up that good relationship with food. So then when you go on your trip or you do something fun where you want to enjoy a meal out with your loved ones, you can truly enjoy it without feeling that guilt.
Exactly. I think that's super important because like Abby said, like we focus on your relationship with food as clients and then just with ourselves as well, but we focus on that primarily. But aside from that, we also focus on your relationship with yourself and just reassuring yourself and speaking life into yourself. Because if you tell yourself like, oh well, I'm going on vacation, so it's like whatever, I can kind of do whatever I need to, I'll eat whatever I want, and when I get back I'll think about getting back into routine. Or when you get back, most of the time it's like, well, I feel like I ate like crap, so now my body image is horrible, now like I feel like I'm in the worst spot. Like we always try to work on your mental and your relationship with food because they go hand in hand. Like if you're perceiving carbs as bad or fluffy, I don't know, fluffy eaters or whatever you want to call them, then that's exactly how you're going to feel when you consume it. So making sure that you have that healthy relationship with yourself to know that food is fuel. And at the same time, like I tell all my clients this, I'm like, okay, if 1 to 2 meals did not get you your dream body, 1 to 2 meals won't take it away.
Yes.
And it's just so true because yes, we want you to eat as healthy as possible, but healthy is what healthy looks like to you. Because to me, like I don't like a lot of certain veggies, but Abby is like full of greens and loves her Hulk tortillas and things like that. So, you know, like healthy looks different for everybody, but as long as it comes and derives from the organic and natural and good quality foods that you have. And I think that's what's most important, because you can be like, well, I'll just go to like a fast food and get something quote unquote healthy. And although like if it's a once in a while thing, it may be convenient, it could be beneficial for that moment, but if it's a constant recurring thing, you're choosing convenience over quality, and then we don't want to do that because that's where it's going to scar your relationship with food. That's where it's going to be really hard for you to kind of get away from that habit. And we just want to make sure that no matter what you're doing, whether it's a quick trip, a long vacation, you are fueling your body as intentionally as possible.
100%. And I think a lot of people view like vacations and stuff as a setback on their fitness journey, and I'd actually say it's like the opposite.
Yeah.
And it really teaches you how to navigate those situations, which is huge, because just talking to clients that are getting back from trips, they're like, oh, that week was a wash. I'm like, no, it wasn't. Like you practice like these skills that you've been building up like in your toolbox of how to navigate all different types of situations, and just getting back on track after, and not feeling like, oh, I have to overcompensate by doing cardio and less food and stuff like that.
Yeah.
No, you're literally just getting back on track to right where you left off.
Yeah, like nothing changes other than you had a vacation. Get right back on track, start eating the same things, like you're good. But
yeah, and then I guess like just summer, I know we talk about a lot about vacations, but just like summers in general. So yes, you want to be enjoying your summer, but honestly, most of the time you have more time in the summer and it's nice out. You can get outside. It's like, I don't really see the issue with it being summer. Like, unless you're this person that has something scheduled every day of the summer, like I don't really see what the issue is, because you're going to have like times when you're going away, times when you're doing fun things. And it's good to distinguish like when a time is when you should like be tracking and when you like shouldn't be tracking. If you are tracking, like Bri's example, she was visiting her family. When I was visiting my family last, I wasn't tracking. Versus like if you're just going on like, when we go on like road trips and stuff, I try to like track on the road trip in the car, stuff like that. So then I can have more flexibility when I get there to really just enjoy it and not track. So I think it's good to kind of determine like, set in advance like times when you know, okay, I actually want to try to stay on track to the best of my ability, versus times where I'm like, okay, I'm not going to be tracking. Because the last time I went home, I was like, yeah, could I track? I'm like, yeah, but I'm just going to go in there and just like set the expectation that I'm just going to be more intuitive and I'm not going to stress about it.
Yeah, and then you're able to make those core memories, be present with your loved ones, and then you can recall everything that you did on that trip because you're physically and mentally there. Like being physically there is one thing, but being mentally there is another. And I catch a lot of our clients kind of falling short on the mental side and not being mentally present sometimes, whether that's even at a quick dinner with some family catching up. So prioritizing you this summer is going to be good, because this may ruffle some feathers, but if you are one of those who says, I cannot do anything this summer, like I can't commit to my fitness, I can't commit to my health, I can't commit to coaching, I can't commit for whatever reason, I personally think that your excuse is invalid, because it is a lack of self-priority. Because if you are saying this because you want to enjoy it, you are putting your self-desires of everything that is fun and is good before your health. And how do you expect to be able to partake in those things if you aren't physically your best or mentally your best? Because you can say like, oh, well, I just don't want to commit to anything right now because I want to enjoy my summer. And it's like, okay, well, why can't I help you? Or why can't we help you? Or why can't you find the help to build structure and stability in your summer, so that way you can have the smoothest summer possible, not having to worry about overindulging one night and under eating the next day, and then waking up and putting on a bikini and feeling like you have the worst body ever. Because most of the times it's a lack of structure, lack of routine, and lack of self-priority. Like, it all comes down to how much you value yourself and your health. And I'm not trying to make it seem like you don't love yourself or you don't care about yourself, but at the same time, like, you need to sit back and sit down and ask yourself, okay, how much do I mean to myself? And it's not even making a financial commitment with a coach. It's showing up for yourself on a daily basis. Like, you could totally sit and watch Netflix on the couch for 3 hours, but how would you feel after that? Just groggy and kind of bad. So why not take at least a 30-minute break from that show or that movie, go on a walk and watch your mental clear up, and you feel so much better after. So it's a small little shifts in your day-to-day routine during the summer, which you can enjoy, that will make the summer more enjoyable. Like, push time aside for you, and you're gonna blossom this summer. And instead of saying like, I just want to enjoy summer, and actually saying it, you're gonna actually take action and truly enjoy it. So
I love that.
Hot
Preach
take.
it. No, that is all super valid. And tough love is like what you need. Like, we could be on here just saying like, no, you don't have to worry about your fitness this summer. Just like enjoy, go make memories the whole time. Like, we could say that, but like, we need to instill tough love in you, because that's what we do with our clients. Like, we do that because we love you. Like, the reason that we do push you and make you prioritize you is because we care about you. And there's not a lot of people in your life that are going to be doing that. You know, your family is going to say, take it easy. Your friends say, take it easy. Unless it's me and Bri. We're usually good about keeping each other on track with everything. But it's good to have, like, it's good to be, like, pushing yourself and having, like, different people in your life that can actually push you. So maybe that's a coach, or maybe that's a friend that can be really honest with you, or maybe it's yourself.
Yeah, and that's why I think, like, accountability and support is super important. Yes, it's important during the seasons of life where you're really busy, like with work or school or whatever that looks like for you. But even during the times where you have more time, more availability, like, yes, I know you want to be, it sounds bad, but I know you want to be selfish, which is, selfish can be good sometimes, but I know you want to be selfish and have that downtime to yourself. But at the same time, like, how are you taking that downtime and using it to your advantage to become a better version of yourself? Because if you're using that downtime and walking and running on this hamster wheel that leads you to no destination, like, how are you genuinely doing anything for yourself in that moment? Because you could be enjoying summer and keeping yourself on this hamster wheel, but where did you get to at the end of summer? Are you still stuck where you were? Or did you actually make any progress mentally, physically, emotionally, etc.?
And I feel like a lot of people put, okay, summer is like their excuse. Like, I can't commit to anything because, like, you know, it's summertime. It says you're taking yourself out of control of your life. Like, you should be the one, like, in the driver's seat, like, taking control, not being a victim to your circumstances, like, whatever comes up. Exactly. And I always say, like, there's never going to be a perfect time to start any fitness program that you try. There's never going to be a perfect time. Can you think about a time in your life when you've had 12, 16 weeks of straight nothing? Like, I highly doubt no sickness came up, no sadness came up, no vacations, no trips, no dinners out. Like, maybe when you're in prep, because I know that was my life in prep, maybe. No. But there's not going to be a time where you'll have nothing. So what if you actually learned to make the best of, like, each obstacle that comes up and use that as a learning experience to propel you? Because the years to come, like, you know, like, if you're not making your fitness a priority this summer. Like, what are you going to do next year? Summer's going to come around again. You're still going to be on your fitness journey. So why don't you learn how to take control of it now?
Yeah, and we're not saying like you need to go balls to the wall, hit the gym 6 times, go for a run, hire a coach. Like, start small. Like your daily steps, your daily water intake, making sure you have a protein source in every meal. And like Abby said earlier, doing the things that make you feel good. Like, it's that small. Like, it doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to be crazy or this extensive to-do list before you go and enjoy yourself. Like, make time, even if it's 10 minutes, to do something for yourself that makes you feel good.
Yeah,
whatever
something
that
is always better than nothing.
Exactly. And yeah, you just need to prioritize yourself and prove to yourself that you love yourself enough to put yourself first, because we oftentimes take ourselves out of control, like Ab was saying, put ourselves in the back seat and something or someone else is driving the car for us, and then we get to a destination where we're still not happy with where we're at. So it's like, okay, plan out your story, picture it in 6 months. Where are you? What do you look like? What do you feel like? What do you want to be doing with yourself? And turn that fictional character into a reality, because that is you, and it can be you if you take the action and actually work towards it.
Preach it.
Woohoo!
I think that was a good one. Okay, so I think the audio, excuse me, I think the audio cut out a little bit here, but that's fine. It was our time to wrap up anyway, so thank you guys so much for tuning in. Please connect with us on Instagram. We'll leave everything in the description, and you can always message us with things that you want us to talk about or maybe guests to have on the podcast.